If you would, please stand.
Thank you. If you would bow with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the many blessings you bestow upon us. And dear Lord, we just ask that you would be with us as we conduct the business of this county. And we ask for your guidance, your strength, and your wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Wayne, we've got a pretty busy schedule today, so let's get it started and be respectful of everybody's time.
Yes,
please.
sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
The first item before we get to the balance of the agenda is the adoption of the minutes. Mr. Chairman, we have 3 sets of minutes. The first set is September 21st, 2021 regular meeting minutes. The second set of minutes are the September 22nd, 2021 special Board of Education tax election meeting minutes. And then the third set of minutes that's up for adoption are the September 28th, 2021 special meeting for the board tax as well.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve the minutes from September the 21st, the regular meeting, and September 22nd, special meeting, and September the 28th, special meeting for the BOE tax elections.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Thank y'all. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next we have a special guest this morning. We have Miss Alabama with us this morning, Lauren Bradford. We're very proud to say she is from Baldwin County, and so we're asking Lauren to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Very good. Do we clap now?
Thank y'all so much for yielding your time to me. I appreciate the opportunity just to be here and speak to you. And I was so ecstatic to know that the junior leadership ambassadors were going to be here today because you guys are doing so much, obviously, to be in a position like this. People see merit in your leadership, and they want to put you in a position of leadership, and you're our future leaders of our county and of our state. So just thank you guys for your obvious commitment to that. I'm inspired by you guys, and I think that leadership is such a special thing. So thank you all for your service and what you do for our communities. And I would like to start just by saying what the job of Miss Alabama entails, because sometimes it's very misleading with the crown and the sash, but it's about so much more than that. It's about more than a title, and it's not a beauty pageant at all. I wanted to be Miss Alabama because it's about community impact and advocacy and having a philanthropic focus. And I started trying to do that when I was 15 years old, and I think sometimes the people who are unafraid to step out and be leaders can sometimes be ostracized because that's not always the popular thing to do. And so as part of my mission as Miss Alabama is to encourage young people especially to do hard things and be different from your peers, because that's not the easiest road to take. And I know that all of the commissioners and the servants in this room can probably attest that they had to step out and stand up for what they believe in and be different at some point in their lives, and that's why they're successful today. So I appreciate your willingness to do that today, and at the age that you're at. Just keep doing that. And I'm so proud to be representative of this organization. It helped fund my college. I was awarded over $260,000 in cash and in-kind scholarships, and that helped me to graduate from Auburn University debt-free. War Eagle. I graduated in May. Sorry if that was offensive.
We'll let that slide.
But it also afforded me the opportunity to want to pursue a graduate degree because I knew I would have scholarships. So I've been accepted to and will attend Vanderbilt University for my master's in finance after I'm done being Miss Alabama. And I will also compete for the title of Miss America this December. And so I am incredibly proud to represent not just our state, not just Auburn, not just Vanderbilt, but also Baldwin County. I grew up in Gulf Shores. I went to Gulf Shores High School. I graduated in 2018. And so I'm just so proud to be back here in my home county and to represent this amazing county and what we bring to the table at a national stage at Miss America in December. So it'll be on TV December 16th, so watch out for me. But thank you all so much again for your time and just getting to recognize me today. And thank you again for your service and what you do for our community, because you inspire me every day. And I want to leave with one quote that I've been saying everywhere I go as Miss Alabama, that there's a difference between living a life of ambition and living a life of impact. And one of those things you do for yourself, and the other thing you do for other people. And so I encourage you guys just to keep living lives of impact, and you're doing that already. And thank you all so much for what you do. So thank you for your time, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I think next we're going to
Wait,
recognize.
can I say something, please?
Oh, certainly, please do.
I just want to tell Lauren, thank you for coming today. I know your schedule is busy with school and with all the events that you have to go. And I worked for your dad at Am South Bank when I was only, I got to do the math. It's 1987. I was 20 years old, maybe 19 still. And you are so blessed. You've got one of the nicest dads, so I'm not surprised that he's got a nice daughter, so thank you. All right.
Skip?
Thank you, Lauren, for coming today, and we appreciate it. And I know that the Gulf Shores folks are really proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, you're representing them very, very well.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, and Baldwin County appreciates you. You know, it's not very often we get a Miss Alabama from Baldwin
very
County.
first. There's never been
Okay,
one.
all right. Well, see, Baldwin County's first again.
Skip? Jeb?
That's the
Hey, I
second
like
time you
those
come.
Foley Lines colors you got on, though. Just kidding.
Thank you for coming today and sharing with us, and it was good seeing you again since I saw you back in 2017.
I know, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I saw him as Miss Alabama's Outstanding Teen at the first Friday Forum, and so that's just kind of a full circle moment when I was 17 years old. So keep being leaders. You guys got this. Just thank you so much again for your time. I'm sorry I have to go to my next event, but thank you
Good
so
deal.
much.
I understand. Thank you. And I did have to cough, and it wasn't about War Eagle, because I have a son that graduated from Auburn, but I also have a son that graduated from Alabama. So it's,
House divided.
that's it. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for what you do. And I got my picture taken with you in 2018, I think.
I think probably the same thing. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's so cool. Well, I'm
All
so
right.
happy to be back with y'all.
Well, good luck in December, and all of us that have a chance to comment to people or something, we'll certainly try to move you along, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so
Going
much.
out here. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Mr. Chairman, I
Wayne.
believe next, as was said, we have our junior ambassadors here this morning. I think Commissioner Baldwin wanted to recognize them.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I've got a little introduction here. We're welcoming the North Baldwin Chamber Junior Ambassadors. There are 20 students here today, I think. So very large group from what we normally see with this. We have along with them Marley Bailey. She's a marketing and project manager. And I don't know why Christine's name's not on here, but she's here. She's the chamber director, so Christine is back there. So this is a chamber-sponsored program. This is where the students learn about the city and county government and the importance of community service. North Baldwin Chamber Junior Ambassadors are comprised of junior and seniors from Baldwin County High School that serve as ambassadors for the chamber at various events. And additionally, students have the opportunity to learn about the work at the chamber, the importance of community service, networking, and business professionals, and learning more about government, how it takes multiple entities in the area to build a successful, thriving community. Junior Ambassador Program not only allows juniors and seniors to grow as community leaders, but grow as people. So with that being said, I always like commenting on the fact that when I was in school and their age, that I was the first one of those. So
Very good.
So just like Billy Joe can attest to something back in her days, I can attest to the fact that I was one of the first junior ambassadors of the county. I mean, I was Bay Minette and represented the city of Bay Minette through the chamber at that time, and there wasn't that many of us. There was, I think, 8 of us or 10 of us, but we just had to dress different. I was telling them how lucky they've got it. They're actually wearing nice clothes. We wore, the girls wore the big Southern antebellum dresses, and I wore some kind of tuxedo thing with a straw hat. So
Oh, I wish we had a photo of that.
I've got the photo somewhere, but I kept it in the safe today. So but anyway, just again, welcome. Thank y'all for visiting with us today, and you'll get to see a little bit about how our county government functions today. And with that being said, I will turn it back over to our chairman.
All right. Thank you, Jeb. Get the name right this time. All right, Wayne?
Commissioners, going down to our agenda, starting off with administration, we have 8 items under administration. I do want to make one note on BA1 as discussed in the work session for the Legislative Committee for ACCA. That will be Commissioner Billy Joe Underwood who will be in that position. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, staff recommends approval of BA1 through BA8.
So moved.
All right, got a motion and a second to approve all the items listed under BA Administration, BA1 through BA8. Any discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. All right, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is Archives and Histories. We have 2 items, BC1 and BC2. Staff recommends approval of those 2 items.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the items under Archives and History, BC1 and BC2. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Mr. Chairman, under Budget and Purchasing, we have 4 items. Do want to make one note on BE4. This is regarding the lift at Live Oak Landing. There is a section added, a replacement item that defines where the money's coming from to pay for that. So with that mentioned, Mr. Chairman, staff recommends approval of BE1 through BE4.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion.
BE5, I'm sorry, BE5.
Yes.
Make a motion, we adopt items BE1 through BE5.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the items under Budget and Purchasing, items 1 through 5. Any further discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is elected officials. We have 2 items, BJ1 and BJ2. Staff recommends approval of both of those items.
So moved.
All right, we've got a motion on
Second.
and a second on items BJ, items elected officials, BJ1 and BJ2. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. They're approved? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is Finance and Accounting. We have 1 item, BM2. Staff recommends approval of BM2.
So moved.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve items BM2. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is Highway. We have 4 items, BN1 through BN4. Staff recommends approval of those 4 items.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the highway items BN1 through BN4. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Chairman, next is Juvenile Detention. We have 1 item, BO1. Staff recommends approval of that item.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve item number BO1.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve under Juvenile Detention item BO1. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That's approved. Let's go to personnel.
Mr. Chairman, we have 7 items under personnel, BQ1 through BQ7. Staff recommends approval of those 7 items.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second to approve the items under personnel BQ1 through BQ7. Any further comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is Planning and Zoning. We have 2 items, BR1 and BR2. Staff recommends approval of those 2 items.
Chairman, make a motion, we approve item number BR1 through BR2.
All right, we've got a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the items under Planning and Zoning, BR1 and BR2. Any further discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next it brings us down to our presentations. We have 3 presentations this morning. The first presentation is regarding Domestic Violence Awareness Month for October 2021. I believe Mrs. Ryan Irvin is here. She is the Executive Director of the Lighthouse. Mr. Chairman, we have a proclamation, if I may read that.
Certainly.
A proclamation declaring October 2021 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whereas domestic violence is a serious crime that affects people of all races, ages, genders, and income levels. And whereas domestic violence is widespread and affects more than 4 million Americans each year. And whereas 1 in 3 Americans have witnessed an incident of domestic violence. Whereas children that grow up in violent homes are believed to be abused and neglected at a rate higher than the national average. And whereas domestic violence costs the nation billions of dollars annually in medical expenses, police and court costs, shelters, foster care, sick leave, absenteeism, and non-productivity. And whereas only a coordinated community effort will put a stop to this heinous crime. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and to show support for the numerous organizations and individuals who provide critical advocacy services and assistance to victims. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Baldwin County Commission in regular session assembled that we hereby set aside October 2021 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and urge the citizens of Baldwin County, Alabama to work together to eliminate domestic violence from our community.
Tell you what, let's step back. Yeah, she's going.
We're going to get the picture.
Yeah. Just speak right into that. All right.
Good morning to the commissioners, to the Baldwin County community at large. I'm Ryan Irvin. I'm the executive director of the Lighthouse. It is an honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of the Lighthouse's Board of Directors, whose president is Andalyn Fitzgerald, Vice President Kristen Phillips, Secretary Melissa Aaron, and Treasurer is Valerie Salter. On behalf of the Lighthouse team of advocates, hardworking, dedicated individuals who serve victims and survivors of domestic violence. And more importantly, on behalf of victims and survivors of domestic violence in this community, thank you. The Lighthouse has served the community for 27 years. We provide comprehensive services to victims and survivors of domestic violence, including safe shelter, 24-hour crisis line, advocacy, community education, prevention, and awareness. We make on average 1,500 to 1,800 contacts a year, and COVID has not stopped us. We've not ceased to serve the community because domestic violence has not ceased. Domestic Violence Awareness Month is an invitation. It's an invitation to the community to join us in becoming aware, becoming educated, and lifting your voices along with ours and saying domestic violence is not okay. It's not okay to have to flee your home. It's not okay to be battered, abused, manipulated. It's not okay for perpetrators to go without being held accountable. It is about lifting your voices and saying domestic violence must stop. And thank you for lifting your voices with ours and declaring and proclaiming October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is the way we get our steps in as we get back.
Mr. Chairman, if we could get a motion on the proclamation.
Yes, we need a motion.
Chair, make a motion, we declare Domestic Violence Month for October.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second to proclaim the Domestic Violence Awareness Month of October. Any other discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 It's unanimous.
You want us to say a little something?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead, Skip.
Yeah, thank you for all y'all do with at the Lighthouse. It's so very important to have an organization like y'all that when we have somebody that is being abused, they have a place that they can go to get some comforting and some guidance to help them, because it is tragic. It's like you said, it hasn't gone away. And, it's senseless. I mean, it should never happen, but it does happen, and we appreciate y'all having that facility here for our citizens of Baldwin County, and thank you so very much what y'all do.
Ryan, thank you so much for being here today again, and it's such a pleasure to be able to see you for every year when that you come. And it is not okay. It is not okay at all for there to be any kind of domestic abuse, and it just boils up in me. I know people tell me you're too nice, you're not, but when you mess with people like that, no, it is not okay for somebody to abuse somebody, whether it be a female, a male, or a child, or anybody else. And so thank you for having the Lighthouse here in Baldwin County, and to hear that number, that over 1,500 contacts, it just, I'm not prepared for the right kind of speech, but I hope that we can expose these people, bring them to justice, and let these people heal and move on with their lives. So thank you for what you do.
Ms. Irwin, thank you so much for what you do. This Domestic Violence Awareness Month, just that we proclaimed a month of it, is we do this every day, 365 days out of the year as well, and take a stance and know how wrong this is, and are willing to join you in saying that. With that being said, with another business that I'm involved with, I've had the honor and privilege of actually helping some people out by calling your crisis hotline, with them standing beside me and actually seeing the process work from start to finish. Because in my line of work, I'm a mandatory reporter, and if somebody comes to me with an abusive situation, then I call y'all, and y'all have always been open and willing to help, and I've seen people taken away right out of my parking lots before, and it changed their lives forever. It's just the point of when enough is enough, and y'all have said the right things on the phone to get these women to do what they need to do to escape the violence. I commend y'all for that. I know during the pandemic, a lot of people wrongly assumed that things calmed down, but we knew that abuse was skyrocketing as people had to stay inside with each other even more. So, and y'all were I'm sure y'all was overwhelmed just like everybody else was at that time. But just thanks again for what you do for our community. It kind of goes under the radar, unrecognized, that we have this great facility in our county that helps so many people. And hopefully somebody watching this meeting today, if they're are a victim of domestic violence, that maybe they will reach out and call the Lighthouse. It's a great place to start. Thank you so much.
As Jeb said, there are people watching live right now. There'll be people watching this remotely later on. And I want all of us in this room and everybody that watches this broadcast to understand that we're all responsible for making this better. It's a constant effort. And anybody that is in your family, your neighborhood, or is in situations that lead to the need for the Lighthouse, reach out to them, because it is about stepping up and stepping up early. That's part of what Baldwin County is so unique, because we're a huge county, but we're made up of 14 cities and towns, which keeps us in that small town atmosphere. Let's help take care of one another. If you see somebody on the side of the road with a car problem, stop and help them, or at least call somebody to help them. But more importantly, if you see spouses and children and others that are being put upon, maybe out of sight, but not out of mind. So let's all take our responsibility to share your message. And October just happens to be the month that we highlight it, but we're into this 12 months a year, 24/7. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Do we need a motion?
No, we already did all that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I thought. All right.
Used to that.
Mr. Chairman, the next proclamation is regarding archives and history. And so I believe we have Mrs. Felicia Anderson, her staff are here this morning. Felicia, you want to come forward? Mr. Chairman, we have a proclamation for October 4th to the 8th as National, sorry, wrong one. This is a proclamation for Archives Month in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whereas archival records contain information of enduring value to the communities, institutions, and citizens of Baldwin County and are essential for understanding the past, coping with the present, and preparing for the future. And whereas archival records protect the rights of citizens, provide transparency and accountability for the action of government, documents the growth of our economy and institutions, and connects today's generations with the legacies of their forebears. And whereas archival records support research into health, environmental, social, economic issues, provide vital resources for the education of our young people, and form the basis of programs for the edification and enjoyment of the general public. Whereas Baldwin County's professional archivists and staff play a crucial role in identifying, preserving, and making available these records. And whereas through these archives, future generations of Baldwin County can more accurately study the past, learn from the accomplishments of their predecessors, trace their ancestors, understand their community's pride of place, confirm property rights, and maintain laws while celebrating the history of our county. And whereas October has been declared National Archives Month in the United States by the Society of American Archivists and the International Council of Archives, and it is fitting that the Baldwin County Commission join in this observation. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Baldwin County Commission in regular session assembled that we hereby proclaim October 2021 as Archives Month in Baldwin County, Alabama, and encourage the public to visit the Baldwin County Archives facility and other archives and museums throughout the area.
Each of you got about 10 minutes. Please comment if you would.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Selena Garza. I'm an archive specialist at the Archives Department. I just wanted to say thank you for this proclamation for Archives Month. And also I just wanted to say thank you, and that it is also an honor and privilege to be working at the Archives Department and being able to provide the service for the public as well. So thank you.
Good morning. My name is Robert Brown. I'm also an archive specialist, and I also just want to thank you for recognizing Archives Month and for this proclamation.
I'm Bradley Helms. Good morning, Commissioners. Sorry, did that a little out of order. I am the newest archive specialist with the county, and I just want to say it has been an honor, privilege, and delight to work with Ms. Anderson and the rest of the team so far, and I look forward to continuing to do so. Thank you.
Very good. Here's the boss.
Good morning. I have an elevator speech. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone.
Sit down for this one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Society of American Archivists and other archival institutions around the world designates October as American Archives Month. This time is set aside to focus on the importance of historic records and to inform the public about archives and the work that we do. The archives held by the county need more voices to champion the idea that archives matter. The archival profession is often overlooked and underrepresented. But archives do not just exist. We are not just the building by Norris Funeral Home without windows. We are records collectors, records protectors. We are the keeper of memory. We are the memory bank for the county, linked to every county department to serve as evidence, transparency, and accountability. It is vital that archives gets its due. I'm very excited, I'm privileged, and I'm honored to work in the field of historic preservation. Baldwin County's history have many facets of history, and by being able to preserve it, it helps us tell these stories. One thing I also want to add, you have to think about it. You have to keep in your mind that without a memory, there's no culture. Without memory, there will be no civilization, no society, no future. People will live life the way they modified it. And I'm asking everyone to just pause for one moment and think about the type of world we would live in if everyone walked around and just lived without memory. That's something to think about. So what we do is very important, is very vital. So in honor of our observance of American Archive Month, we have chosen a collection to shed light on this particular period in Baldwin County's history. And we're going to tell you more about that via the screen. Baldwin County seat from Bay Minette to Daphne. October 11th of this year marks the 120th year anniversary. That event will be held on Thursday at 5:30 at Bay Minette Courthouse at the gazebo. We have many of our elected officials that participate in this event. We work to make this event as historically accurate as possible, as it was our county commissioners and other townspeople that brought the county seat to Bay Minette. Available on our website will be information about how to use Baldwin County records for your research. Hidden treasures from the archives will shed light on history, the importance of electronic records and digital preservation, and there will be tales from the archives as well. Not only this month, but every day, we hope that you all will take time to become archives aware. It is our hope that you will stop by our facility in Bay Minette and meet those who work every day to preserve Baldwin County's history and learn more about our profession. We're also encouraging the public or anyone who have any items of historical significance to properly care for those so that they may be of use for future generations. And last, as my boss, Mr. Dice, said, we strongly encourage you to visit other museums and historic sites throughout the county as well. Thank you for this proclamation and for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Comments?
We doing comments now? You want to go ahead and make the motion?
All right, let's do a motion and a second.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to accept this proclamation.
I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second to do the proclamation on Archives Month. Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It is unanimous. Now comments.
Felicia, people don't realize how far the records go back that y'all have preserved. And it's very important, that all of these records are kept safe because they are part of Baldwin County's history. It's like you were showing this video just a second ago when the courthouse was taken from Daphne to Bay Minette. It was Daphne back up to Bay Minette. It was quite a bit of history there and why it happened and everything else. And, you've got all that on record.
Yes.
And, if a person wants to spend some time and go to archives, and you can learn a lot of history about Baldwin County back, when it first got formed and everything else. I mean, it's there.
Yes, sir. Our records date back to 1732, before Baldwin County was formed.
Yeah, that's a long ways. I don't appreciate it. We appreciate you all being the I guess you call it the key holders and of our history. And y'all are doing a very good job of it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia, and your team. I love stopping by there. I wish I had more time to spend more time because I love to dig into that stuff. But I am so thrilled to know that this exists. I didn't know that it existed to the extent that it existed before I was elected in 2018. And I try to tell as many people as I come across about the Archives building is there, that it's available for people to come, and how wonderful of a staff that you have, and how that you guys help and accommodate requests that people have. And even for people who may not have been born and raised in Baldwin County, there is so much interesting information that you can find out about what happened here. And for those of us who were and have ancestors that have roots in this county for many generations back, I have just been thrilled to be able to come to some of your events and participate and different things. And so I look really forward to this Thursday night and seeing the reenactment. And you actually kind enough to let me read a little thing. I don't have it memorized, but I will.
It's all right, we just wing it.
I will make sure it happens, But I'm so excited. I'm going to try to get some people from the other part of the county to come up here if they'll bring a lawn chair. And they're like, what time? We got to come all the way to Bay Minette. I'm like, that was the county seat. It still is, And I'm like, they're like, okay. I said, it's not that. It doesn't take that long to get there as they think it does. So when people live in other parts of the county, they think about all the traffic and how long it takes to get from one point to another. I think it could take as long to get from Gulf Shores to Foley as it could to get from Loxley to Bay Minette. So longer to get from Gulf Shores to Foley than it does from Loxley to Bay Minette. So I've been trying to encourage people to come up here, come to your archives department, and you got a fan in me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Felicia, for everything that you do. One of the greatest things I like about your archives department and you personally is the correct depiction of history. Like you said, there's no modifications. What you see in your building is what you get, just tangible items that you can look at, and it's not been skewed on the computer. I would encourage you, the students out here, if y'all have to do a report or some type of paper on a history project, instead of going on there and Googling some stuff, you may not get correct information. You go to the archives department and you'll be surprised of what you can hold in your hands under the supervision of these people, and it is history. I mean, it's dating back to 1732. So that's amazing that we have these records in a building over there that hardly ever, the public is like this awareness month that we're getting out for Archives Appreciation Month. We want people to come to that building and look at what we have. I'm pretty guilty of not even ever hardly going over there and looking at the stuff, but before I leave out of here, one of these days I'm going to go there and spend the whole day. It's probably take me longer than a day to look at some of that stuff, but Felicia and her staff, they do a phenomenal job for us keeping up with our archives. I don't know how many other counties do stuff like this, but like I was telling y'all in the back, we have a rich history here in Baldwin County, and that building keeps all of that. And I just want to thank Felicia and her staff for everything that they do. She's always so pleasant to work with, an inspiration to all of us. And just stop by there sometime if y'all have free time. Like I said, instead of getting on the computer doing your work, go over there and actually look at the stuff. And people don't ever realize if you're doing a history paper, you could do it on Baldwin County, the very county that you live in, and do a pretty good history lesson on that. With that being said, I think y'all have to come out. Am I correct? They have to be there on Thursday night, right? Are they coming out on Thursday night to help us out? Come on, guys. Y'all need to come out on Thursday night, support we call it the removal of the courthouse. You're going to hear some stories about how it was stolen. We don't know yet what the true story is. But it's a good battle that's fought to see who's right and who's wrong. And it's always a very fun event to come out to. We have a lot of laughs. We have a lot of fun. It's a good community event. Bring your lawn chairs. Help us out. You can volunteer to help us out if you want to with some things. And there should be a large crowd there. So
and if I can interject, it's at 5:30 at the Bay Minette over here at the courthouse at the gazebo. So come one and all.
Felicia,
yes, sir.
It's been said. What I want to say is what you do and how you do it is what makes Baldwin County unique. And being able to show our uniqueness, most of us that live in this county aren't natives of Baldwin County. We've come from other places, and we need to embrace our history. Everybody in this room should know, but we're 10 years older as a county than the state of Alabama. We were part of the Mississippi Territory. So our history is unique. We feel like we're unique. And the fact that we're the fourth largest county, but we don't have a city of 30,000, but we got 14 cities and towns. And if you like sausage, you go over here. If you like shrimp, you go over here. I mean, we can deal with it with our cuisine as well as our culture. So I encourage everyone that's new to the area to use this as an opportunity to find out about Paradise, because it is truly paradise, and your ability to keep the records and have our history correct doesn't mean right or wrong. Somebody wins a battle, somebody loses a battle. What most of the new people don't realize is the percentage of this county that's north of I-65. Not a lot of people, but a lot of acreage and a lot of area there. So the geography has always intrigued me, but the people, how we got to where we are, and more importantly, where y'all are going to take us in the future. So Felicia, thank you very much for you and your team, and continue to call on us when we can be helpful. I'm going to try to be there Thursday as well.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Felicia.
Mr. Chairman, next we have a proclamation regarding Customer Service Week in Baldwin County. Before we get started, I want to ask Shannon Spivey and also Dean Mott, and they have some, just a small group of employees who are here that are in our customer service. This is not everybody, of course, but we do have a few who are here, and I'm going to ask them to introduce them if they would. But first, I want to say, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, you know, customer service is very important to Baldwin County. You guys have made that very clear through our strategic plan, and also they are the reflection and the perception that people see of Baldwin County. We have some great people who work in customer service. They take their jobs very seriously, and very proud of that fact that they are trying to put the best image forward for the county and be very helpful as possible. If you've ever been to the call center, you hear the calls and you hear their professionalism as they go through that, Mr. Chairman. So I want to say thank you from administration for that, because it makes our jobs a lot easier. If I would, I'll read the proclamation, Shannon, and then we'll go to you guys. You can introduce your staff. We also have a video we want to play as well. Proclaiming October 4th through 8th, 2021 as National Customer Service Week in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whereas Baldwin County Commission employees use their attentiveness, clear communication skills, knowledge of our county, compassion and problem-solving abilities to provide an excellent customer service experience for everybody they serve. And whereas Baldwin County Commission employees represent a wide range of occupations and possess a broad array of skills and expertise to serve Baldwin County well. Whereas the Baldwin County Commission employees are caring and compassionate customer service-oriented workers who have our citizens and visitors' best interests at heart. Whereas Baldwin County Commission employees strive to provide excellent customer service to all of Baldwin County, from the beaches along the Gulf of Mexico all the way to our North Baldwin boundaries, from the eastern shore to the Alabama-Florida state line and everywhere in between, serving our residents, visitors, and businesses throughout all of the 2,027 square miles with dedication and commitment. Whereas in 1992, President George Bush and Congress designated the first week in October of each year as National Customer Service Week, and the Commission wishes to recognize the Baldwin County Commission employees for their hard work and dedication, and encourage all to observe this week with appropriate programs and activities. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Baldwin County Commission in regular session assembled that we hereby proclaim October 4th through 8th, 2021 as National Customer Service Week in Baldwin County, Alabama.
Thank you, Wayne. And thank you, commissioners, for letting us be here today. I would have loved to bring every employee up here so they could get the recognition and the thank yous that they deserve. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to shut down the county for the day, so we've brought a representation from some of our departments. And I do want to take this time, though, to say every employee of the Baldwin County Commission, probate, revenue, they all serve some customer every day. We did not recognize this week last year because of COVID and Sally, and there was just so much going on that we couldn't give it the attention it deserved. But I felt like this year it was more important than ever to tell the staff thank you. If it had not been for the support from groups like CIS and building maintenance, we could not have kept things going and adjusted so quickly during COVID and the changes that were made there. The administrative staff that helps make sure that we stay on track and do things properly, no matter what changes we've had to make and where we might be working. And then there's those that serve our customers face-to-face, like so many of the probate staff, and we've got some here today, revenue, building department, and planning and zoning, who have seen such an explosion in the number of customers they've been asked to serve in the past year. Again, I could go on, and I'm going to leave some group out. Just want to say that every employee does what they do because they love this county. The customers that we serve are citizens that choose to live here when they could live somewhere else. There are businesses that choose to do business here that could do their business somewhere else, and there are visitors that come to vacation here when they could go somewhere else. So without these people serving our community, we would not be paradise. I mean, you can have all the beautiful beaches and lakes and all that, but without everybody that is standing behind me and that's out doing their job right now, it truly wouldn't be the paradise that this group of employees have made Baldwin County to be. And that is, I'm going to introduce a few. So we've got the probate judge just joined us. We've got Violeta Smith from probate. She's our elections coordinator. Susan Thompson, who is our tags. Yeah, so I'm not looking behind me. I'm looking at this. Susan, who is the supervisor over tags and license in Bay Minette. And then there are also, 3 other locations. We've got Bay Minette, Fairhope, Foley, Robertsdale. Sally Ludke, who is in recording for Bay Minette. And again, they have employees throughout the county. And Janine Walker, who is with our probate court over here. And then I also brought 2 of our customer service representatives, Deborah Key and Courtney Etheridge. Courtney started with us when she was just a baby. She was 19, so she did this right out of high school, not much older than some of you that are here. And so she's seen a lot of changes in the county and has probably talked to just about everybody that has ever been in Baldwin County over all those years. So I wanted to bring them here today so that they could see how much you all appreciate what they do.
Thank you. I apologize for being a little late. We had a memorial service this morning in the courthouse for 2 of the attorneys that passed away, and so I had to try to make that as well. I guess the probate probably deals with the public more than any other of the county offices. As she said, we have 4 offices: Bay Minette, Fairhope, Foley, and Robertsdale. We have over 300,000 automobile registrations in this county that have to be renewed throughout the year. We try to encourage people to make appointments or to use our online services, but there are always those that insist on walking in every day. So we still see public face to face, and while I would say 97% of the time it's a good experience, but there's always a couple that leave a little unhappy for some reason. And for these people to be able to deal with them the way they do and to keep a smile on their face, it says a lot about them throughout all of our offices, and we really appreciate that. And speaking of Violeta, talking about long-term service, she is retiring at the end of this month after 38 years of working with the county. How about that? She started as a child with the Board of Registrars and eventually moved over to the position of elections coordinator with the probate office and does an excellent job. Again, she has to deal with public during elections, and as well as all of the 200 plus poll workers that we use for our elections. So she does a wonderful job, and hopefully she'll keep coming back from time to time to assist us with those. But thank you.
All right. Who gets this?
right there in the middle.
All right. Okay, very good. We'll miss you.
And we also have a video that has been put together, but please know when you're watching this, again, it's not nearly a representation of all of our employees. Some of them are very camera shy, so we got what we could, but just showing some examples of our staff serving, or our employees serving our citizens either over the phone or face-to-face. So while they're working on that, I could talk about customer service all day long. And this is a perfect example of, again, somebody that probably doesn't think of themselves in customer service, but without our CIS department, videos would never go on. We would not have this streaming on Facebook Live. As the judge mentioned, we do still see a tremendous amount of people in our offices because there are some things that do still have to be done in person. And again, the changes and the adjustments that those people that serve face-to-face on the front line made in the past year with all the COVID protocols, they just jumped right in there and did a great job. We also have some that, for whatever reason, can't come in, whether they're not able to travel or maybe they don't live around here. So we have staff in kind of in behind the scenes that are serving in not just the call center that I supervise, but also we have a probate call center, revenue, just all around the county. You're going to find people, again, behind the scenes that are serving. One of the quotes that I have focused on this week with my staff, and it being the power of service, is to not focus on the struggle of those that you are trying to serve, but focus on what you can do to serve them. And they do, a lot of them are just an easy need to renew something or find out how much your garbage bill is. But others come, they call struggling because they don't know who to go to. They don't know where to go. They need help with paying their bills. They need help navigating the court system. They need, we have callers that we end up referring to the lighthouse as well, that just don't know where to start. And for whatever reason, they call us, and we're glad that they do so that we can help them. I said I could talk forever. Kind of
looks like they're still working on that video.
Commissioners, I would like to take a moment to thank Shannon for taking the initiative to observe Customer Service Week. She and her staff do an outstanding job with helping not only citizens of Baldwin County, but also people throughout the country that are looking at possibly relocating here or moving here short term. Sometimes that positive experience can convince someone to move here to Baldwin County. And we only have to look at the statistics to see that people are coming to Baldwin County, not only for its beauty, but I would say because of Shannon's staff's great customer service that they've experienced. So I want to commend Shannon and her staff for doing an outstanding job. And it's because of her that the probate office has been able to improve our customer service as well. And so we've implemented the OpenScape system. We've also established a customer service call center. And so with the ongoing growth of Baldwin County, that has kindly helped us, and of course, the commission's graciousness in allowing us to hire some additional staff to meet that demand. It's greatly appreciated. So Shannon, thank you and your staff for what you do.
Mr. Chairman, if we could, we'll go through this manually. The video is having difficulty. We'll go through it manually, showing some of the pictures from around the county from some of your employees that are in customer service.
Okay.
All right, good.
And those first couple you saw in the probate office, and you see the plexiglass and the social distancing. Here we've got brats assisting. I believe these are our ladies from the Council on Aging that do an amazing job. That is, we've recently implemented, in order to improve customer service, a drive-up window for if you need to make your solid waste payment. It's at the in the back parking lot of the Central Annex.
Go ahead and narrate so we'll know where you're at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell us.
Some of them I don't recognize because I just talked to them over the phone so many times.
Pam in purchasing back there.
Yeah, we've got some of our purchasing and budget staff who, again, without their support and their service to us,
I know where that is.
Serving at the landfill.
That is not my backyard. I don't think.
This was actually taken yesterday in Robertsdale Probate. They were extremely busy and doing a fantastic job of keeping the customers flowing, keeping them distanced, making sure they had their paperwork. That's at our planning and zoning office. We've got Buford talking to, one of our customers, Sherry Lee, who was helping during the census. A lot of our employees wear multiple hats. Again, in probate here, you can see they're pretty much always busy, always have somebody at their desk, and that was one of the reasons why we implemented the probate call center. For years, you would walk into the probate office and every licensed revenue officer would have somebody in front of them and also have their phone ringing, and we're trying to juggle both, and we just thought we knew we could do better than that. So by establishing the call center, the ladies that work at the counter can focus on the people that walked in, and the people that have to call can get the full attention. This is one of our personnel staff working long hours during the Sally activation. That's Anthony, who helps make sure that we stay safe. I believe this is at our Revenue Commissioner's office. They were not able to send a representative today because the property tax bills just went out. So don't forget to pay your property tax. Please don't wait till December 31st, even though that is technically the deadline without any penalty. This is a couple of our CSRs visiting with the Council on Aging to find out more about the services they offer, so we can refer some of our callers to them that may not know about those services. That's the Fairhope Courthouse and out in front of probate, I believe. And can't forget all the service of the men and women on the highway crews, especially with all of this rain lately. There's no way that we're able to, we haven't figured out a way to defy gravity unless Joey's got, been working on that. But so, the rain comes down, it flows to the lowest point, but they do a fantastic job, getting out and trying to make sure that ditches are clean and there's no obstructions, and that every citizen that calls wanting some help gets their attention. It's demonstrating the new bucket trucks that we got a couple of years ago. The EMA goes around to many different organizations, schools, different civic clubs to speak. This is when there was a lady who had lost something very special, and we were able to, or the solid waste staff was able to isolate which truck her trash may have been on, and they helped locate that item for her.
It was her purse, wasn't it?
Think so.
Yeah, she threw her purse in the trash and she followed that garbage truck all the way and they helped her dig it out.
Yeah. It's amazing because, again, if you've ever gone out, and I know all of you have, but if you haven't toured the landfill, that's an amazing operation, and how, even following the truck and all that, how they found that still amazes me. I believe that's one of our parks crew, but I can't tell.
That's Felicia.
Or is it Felicia? Okay, she's in the shadows, so she's driving around one of our parks.
Animal shelter.
Animal shelter. And this is at the coroner's office. Got Brandy and Shanna, who do an amazing job. We help them with their calls now, and I'm just amazed again at the unfortunate explosion and how many people they have to serve.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept proclamation acknowledging Customer Service Week, October 4th through the 8th.
All right, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to do the proclamation of Customer Service Week, October the 4th through the 8th. Any further discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It is unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next we go down to the committee report.
Hey, whoa, hang on a second.
Just say a little something.
Yeah, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for what y'all do. It's, as an ex-employee who also served just a little over about 30 years, you become very service-orientated. We serve the public, and each and every one of these employees, especially the call center, take some calls from people who are not happy, and they endure some hard times. Sometimes people just, get real ugly with them and want to go a little bit beyond what would be acceptable, but, they listen to it for a while and they just tell them, well, I'm not going to listen to this nastiness. And a lot of times they calm these people down and get what they want, and it makes them feel good that they've done that. Violeta, thank you so much for all the years of service that you put into this county. It's remarkable, and I know you're going to enjoy your retirement.
See you next year.
Good. Good job.
Oh, thank you guys. I just can't thank you enough. I'm glad to get to see you guys in person, because sometimes we get your messages and different things, and then we hear all about the stuff that goes on in probate, and we hear, so it's so good to see you guys in person. And the ones that didn't get to come today, I saw Buford on the screen, and I remember him telling me something. He says, Commissioner, he said, people just don't get the answer they want to hear sometimes, and that's why they get so upset, and it makes it all the way up to the top to you. But he said, we're here to help explain, and if y'all know him, you'd understand that comment. But and I appreciate it, because you guys have no idea how many times we have to, call a meeting and get some of the staff members to come in and help explain it. And sometimes they still don't get the answer they want to hear, because they're hoping that you can change it some kind of a way. But sometimes it just is what it is, and especially you that have to answer the phone. And I see all the people lined up down in the probate office in Robertsdale and how busy it is, and 300,000 registrations. And you know what? This is my month, October. I don't really like getting mail from Harry, but I got a whole stack of tag renewals. On top of that, the revenue commissioner sent me mail too,
That's right.
So it's like,
Take your payment right now.
That's right.
I don't have them with me. I'm sure y'all tell me you can look them up, but I will try to take care of that before the end of the month, so they don't put you guys in a bind. And I'll be seeing the girls down at Robertsdale because that's where I hang out. But thank you guys so much. But 300,000, that's a lot of registrations here in Baldwin County. I know we have 230-something thousand people, but there's a huge population that don't have a vehicle because they're under, hopefully they don't, under 16. But thank you guys so much. That's amazing. But you guys help us out. You help the people out. And one of the quotes I love is that you love your people more than you love your position. And that goes not just for people who are elected, but for the position that you're hired to do. And I think that you guys exhibit that. I see it, and I am thankful for it. Proud to have you guys as Baldwin County staff.
Shannon, if you don't mind, would you share the number of calls that's the stats of what you deal with at the office?
We are, when I first started here, about the first 10 to 15 years, we averaged between 28 and 30,000 calls a month. We have seen a decrease in that, and we've seen a huge increase in our population. So I would like to think that is because, again, we're improving our service. So now we're down to about 25,000 calls a month. So we speak to over 250,000 visitors, people that have sped through the county and will be, helping support our court system. So we talk to, at some point, pretty much everybody in the county, whether it be, as the judge and dean said, because of their vehicles, or, mandatory solid waste. So we talked to all of those people, everybody that came in after Sally and needing to get a building permit for their repairs, and now everybody that decided to stay and build new houses here. So yeah, it's an amazing number of calls that they handle, my two, Courtney and Deb, and I couldn't do what they do. I try to be the cheerleader behind them, supporting them, and try to make their life easier, because I tell them all the time, I can't change the callers and the problems that they have, but I can hopefully make your job better. So that's what we try to do. And we do live chats and emails. So we've done all these things, added services online. So hopefully getting it to where if people don't want to come face to face or don't want to call and they want to do their service on a Sunday at 11 o'clock at night, they can do that.
When is probate call center average?
Oh, don't do that to me, Judge. I put it together a couple of weeks ago, and
it's around 10,000. Just the probate calls.
Okay, so y'all win. Y'all get the majority.
So, I do have a whole other presentation that we've put together for probate at some other time, so I apologize for not remembering those numbers off the top of my head, but we do have that. We've looked at it over the past since January when the call center was implemented. And
well, and just for the record, not to really interrupt you, but you answer calls that don't even come in that concern the commission because people don't know where to call.
Exactly.
And you guys really do a great job of directing them and helping them and different things like that. And that I really appreciate because they don't know, It amazes me how they walk into the front door of Central Annex and it's like, where do we go?
We're at the courthouse switchboard as well. So, and Felicia and I can put together something about the history of how that all happened. But because of that, we learn about DHR, we learn about the lighthouse, we learn about the court referral officers and driving school and transparenting classes for if you're getting a divorce. We work with all the social service agencies to refer out to them. Work with emergency management, especially during an activation, to help weed out some of those calls and answer what we can. And again, working on that consistency, and we've implemented a knowledge base that all the county employees can use, because our goal is to give the same answer to every caller, or every person that walks in, no matter who you get, since we do have such a huge staff. And, gone are the times when we knew all the employees by name and face, and everybody knew off the top of their head how to answer questions. We've just gotten too big for that.
Thanks, Shannon. I'm going to finish my comments real quick. I knew when I called her up for that number that it would go. Once you get Shannon started, boy, she can talk all day long about. She loves and passionate about this stuff as y'all see this. So. One thing I want to point out, thanks to all that y'all do, none of this could be done without the staff that handles customer service, because this is a huge customer service-oriented organization. But with that being said, I can remember during Hurricane Sally, I think it was, I think Shannon challenged me to put the headset on for the day, and I will tell you, putting that headset on for the day and sitting in front of that computer and taking the calls from the public is not a pleasant job. I got my ear full more than I did having, a pleasant conversation. It was very ruthless. So I commend the ladies for what they do and have to put up with on a daily basis. So thank you again for what you do.
I want to comment to those that are watching or might be watching. When you call, have your ducks in a row. You don't go to the doctor's office without your insurance card. You don't go to the grocery store without your list or your piece of paper or something. These people are trying to help you, and they're trying to say yes. But if you don't have your ducks in a row, they have to ask you questions to move it along. And I want to tell you that I appreciate this. I grew up in the retail business, and when you say customers in the retail business and in the business world, your customers, if you've done a good job because they'll come back. Well, in our case, they have to deal with us. And so sometimes their tone or attitude is kind of stilted that way. But you folks try to figure out a way to say yes. Part of what we're trying to do, and have been trying to do it this last couple of years, we're trying to get better as we get bigger. And we're getting bigger. There's no question about that. But being able to apply technology, being able to have a systematic approach, it's not my idea, it's our idea. And let's put it together. Let's move this needle along, because that's what a positive, growing county like Baldwin County should have, and I think does have now. So thank every one of your colleagues for us. Because customer service is the epitome of, as we get bigger, let's get better. So thank y'all very, very much. Any other comments at this point? All right, have we done the
We've already done all that.
All right, done all that. Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Chairman, next we have our committee reports, and the first one is payment of the bills.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we pay bills totaling $13,914,572.87, with the exception of those vendors the commissioners request to be pulled, which at this time are none. Of this amount, $10,706,687.30 is payable to the Baldwin County Board of Education, and $663,814.49 is payable to the Gulf Shores Board of Education for their portion of the county sales and use tax.
Do we have a second on that motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to paying the bills. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Mr. Chairman, next is the notification of interim payments approved by the clerk treasurer under county policy. Staff recommendation is to make the attached interim payments made by the clerk treasurer totaling $3,296,985.26 and make that part of the minutes. Mr. Chairman, that brings us down to discussion items, and this is an item that we discussed at the work session yesterday. This is regarding the commercial lease agreement with James A. Black and Elizabeth A. Black for property in Loxley for the Baldwin County Library Cooperative. As we discussed yesterday, there's been some changes we requested to the lease. It is regarding removing a portion of the terms regarding insurance. Staff is recommending that the commission authorize the chairman to sign the lease after the county attorney has one final review of that. We hope to get it this week, and we hope to start the lease on the 11th, which is Monday. Okay. But staff is requesting that be approved, contingent upon the approval of the county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to that fact.
I'll second the motion.
We've got a motion and a second to deal with item FA1, dealing with the commercial lease agreement. Any further discussion or comments? I would like to make a comment for our young people as well as anybody in the audience. What we are making sure we do is put things in writing, because the handshake approach today may make a lot of sense, but 10 years from now, when you have to go back and look up what happened and who did what we're trying to do is make sure everything we do gets put in writing so it can be in Felicia's archives, but more importantly, it can be followed by future when y'all become the leadership of the county. So with that comment, do we have to have a motion?
We have a motion in a second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, next item is under building inspection. This is regarding the Citizen Serve portal. I believe Eddie Harper, our building official, is here to demonstrate the changes we've made to make things more efficient and more available to the public.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
And I have to say this, due to circumstances beyond my control, roll tide. I can't.
How long do you have to do this? He's an Ole Miss fan.
Just to let the record reflect, he's an Ole Miss fan.
That's right. That's the
He's
reason
from Mississippi.
Obviously, he's lost a bet or something.
Don't make those bets.
Yesterday, I brought a discussion item to you guys, and we all thought best that maybe there was some information out there that would be good for the public to know as well. And so before we start, some numbers came in this Friday afternoon that I wanted to go over. And just talking about customer service, this is the building department's permits, and based on last year, the red numbers are last year, or the previous fiscal year, and then the blues are this past fiscal year. And you can see that our permits issued are much higher this previous year. And if you'll go to the revenue at the part, you can see that the revenue is the same way. The only reason it was down in October is because we were not issuing permits right after Hurricane Sally, or new permits right after Hurricane Sally. And so, and then there's the total of everything. Increase last year of permits by 50% and increase in revenue fees by 71%, or $557,000. And that's just how busy. This next slide we added, y'all did not see this yesterday. That is previous year building permits totaled $133 million impact to this community. This past year, that's $196 million impact to our community, just for building permits. That's not trade permits, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, things like that. That is just building permits. If you saw a company coming into this community tomorrow that says we're fixing to invest $200 million into this community, it'd be on every channel. We do that year after year after year. You guys do. But I thought that was a good slide. One of my staff recommended that we put that in there. And $200 million investment is what just the building department or the building community is putting into this. So what we want to do today is, this is going to be live. Hopefully we don't have the technical difficulties that we had earlier with the video. This is a live demonstration of some new tools that is available to the citizens. One of our biggest things that we deal with is, again, Shannon just talked to you about it, is customer service. And the amount of records requests that we get, the people that are calling asking about permits, inspections, and things like that, and then that took up a lot of resources. And so we tried to put this out here online, and these are tools that are going to be available, or are available now to any citizen anywhere. You can get to it from a tablet, cell phone, computer, whatever, from anywhere in the world. And so what you'll do is you'll go to the building department website, and you just click on Citizen Serve Portal. And that's going to take you to either you can choose planning and zoning, building department, or the environmental complaints. And so we're going to go into the building department side of it for today. And this is where you would log into our new portal. And if you're a new customer, you would register. And if you're an existing customer, you would just log in. There's also videos right there above it that tells you step by step how to do it. It's a little 3-minute video, walks you through the registration process. And then so we're going to log in, and we're going to talk about 2 of these new tools that are available to the public. And again, your real estate agents, your just your citizens that are interested in a property, whether it has a permit, whether it has a CO, what's the status of it, what's the complaint history of it, what's the, just all the history is right here up under this. You can just go to the search button and just, you're going to choose building department again. This is broken down by departments. And if you know the address, you just type the address in. You don't have to have the whole address. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes the least amount of information you ask it, the better return you get. So just type in the numerics. If you know the whole address, you can type in the whole address. But right there, once you type in that address and you see the address that you're talking about, you can click into there. There's a hyperlink there that will let you go straight into that building permit. And everything that has been provided to us by that applicant is now online 24/7, available for the public to see. And so, you know, this is stuff that we get calls about every day. There's a lot of economic analysis that goes on in our community. Lots of people ask us for reports. Dozens of people, we have to supply them reports to keep up with that stuff, you know, monthly, not only for Baldwin County, but for Alabama and for the country. And so this is now all available here. But if you'll go into the reviews, any reviews that my department performs are listed right here. If there were comments, you can click in to read the comments. You can go into the documents, any documents that's been uploaded. For that, you can see that there's a certificate of occupancy. People call us asking for us to print those, you know, or email them all the time. Now they're available 24/7. And so, and then any inspections that are performed on that particular project, you can see the inspection, whether it was approved or not. You can read the comments. And so that's available right there. Now, there's one other tool that we've added in, and again, yesterday I talked to you guys. If anybody throughout the community sees a need for additional types of reports like the ones I'm fixing to show you, we can create those reports now. And so I think this is going to be a growing thing, and this is going to come in handy to a lot of people. But we have our daily inspection, it's under reports, and then we have our daily inspections, and you can pick a day. You know, you can pick today, you can pick a month, you can pick a week or whatever, and you just generate that report, and that's all the inspections that we have for today. We've been averaging about 40 inspections a day recently. So to keep up with the workload. And then, so that's inspection. It tells you who has the inspection, what inspectors, you know, on the job site, whether it's approved or not. And again, there's a hyperlink that would take you straight into the inspection report if you wanted to do it. And then, so we're going to go back again, and the second report is permits issued. This is the one that will be for the economic, you know, people out there that do all of these studies. This will be very beneficial to them to be able to say, okay, all the reports for September, and you can generate that. And you can choose all building permits, or you can break it down into trades if you want to. And when that comes up, I also want to point out that there's most of the time additional pages, and you'll need to click the arrow to see all of them that are pulled up. But you can print that for any time frame that you want. This goes back to November the 2nd of last year when we launched Citizen Serve. But there's also a link on our web page that goes back to our old system that you can see the building permits previously too. And then so the last report, which is my favorite, is this. If you don't know the address and you just need to try to find, you know, where a project's happening. You ride down the road and you see dirt work happening on the side of the road, and you want to know what's going on right there. Then you can pull up this map, and everything that's active in the building department and the planning and zoning department is now on this map. And then so you can just zoom in to that area where you're at. You can sit there and say, well, let's check out this icon right there, and you can click into it. It'll tell you what type of permit it is, what's happening, and it's a hyperlink that takes you straight to all of the information that building department and planning and zoning has put into our system. And land uses, land disturbance, zoning verifications, subdivisions, everything is now going to be on that map. I'm going to show you one map that is, again, my favorite, the one that I think everybody liked the most yesterday. Is what we're going to do is we're going to generate a map that shows you all the building permits, or all the permits that's been issued since November the 2nd. And this shows you the growth in the community. This is just how much we've been exploding, you know, in the last year. So when you zoom in here, and the icons are color coordinated with what type of inspection they are. So you can look at the brown ones. All the brown is new construction. Blue is, you know, like alterations and repair or something. But again, you have the same ability here to zoom all the way in and click on each individual icon, and it will pull up all of the information for that particular icon, for that particular project. So that's it. I just wanted to get that word out there to the citizens and to the real estate agents, to the, the people that call us on a daily basis and are asking us for this information. All of this is available now and, in their hands 24/7. And going back to, I know customer service, week 4th through the 8th, I can't say enough about Shannon's team like she was earlier when we had Hurricane Sally that hit us. Used to, you would call our building department, you had one person answering the phone. If you called the Fairhope office, one person was able to answer that phone. Now we have 6 people that are answering those phones at every office. You can call any number for the building department and you have 6 people that are answering those calls at all time. And so I want to thank them, and I also want to thank my staff because, I wanted to save my time instead of the pictures and everything. I knew I was going to be here today, so I wanted to save my time to thank them, and I couldn't do it without them. Mindy, everything y'all just see right there, all of that citizen serve stuff that we built, Mindy's built that. I mean, every bit of it. She's done that, and my staff from Tammy and Danny and Danielle that work with the customers at the front lines. I call it the front lines every day. I want to thank all of them. So again, if y'all have any questions about this, I'll be glad to answer.
Eddie, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
On your chart, and I love charts and graphs, of the permits issued where it went up 50.92%, those permits had nothing to do with the hurricane, is that correct?
No, sir.
So I want the public to realize that.
Okay, the money that is in there and the permits, that's not hurricane. We kept those separate because you guys voted to waive all of those permit fees. So for the first 6 months, the permit fees were free and no charge whatsoever. But we did document them to keep up for FEMA purposes, but they're not included in those total numbers.
Good. I think that's significant for everybody to understand and know, because the permit, it's unique. We're going to have another storm. We hope it's not anytime soon, but we got to learn from each one and be prepared and be better prepared going forward. Any other questions or comments for Eddie?
I have a quick comment. I love that slide about the economic impact, the 196 million. That's just what Baldwin County Building Department is issued, not to mention what comes out of some of the municipalities. Yeah.
That's right.
So that's, I'm sure that number could easily double or triple.
Yeah, and that's a good point to make, that is just the unincorporated
But I'm not
areas of Baldwin
diminishing
County.
ours. I'm just saying that look at what the building impact is doing to Baldwin County as far as an economic impact and boost.
Right.
Very good. Good point. Any other comment?
Just thank you, Eddie, for everything that you do.
Thank
you very much.
Thank y'all for helping us anytime we ask for it. You've been there for us.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, next is commissioner requests.
All right, Jeb, you have a request?
I don't have any requests. I've got comments for later.
All right, Billy Joe? Skip? I don't have a request either. Okay, so we'll go to the next item.
We have 2 addendums, Mr. Chairman. The first addendum, you should have these at your packet, and we discussed these also in the work session. As you know, the county owns the buildings where the health department is located. And so the first item is an amendment to the memorandum of agreement between the Alabama Department of Public Health and the Baldwin County Commission. And this is some changes they're making to their facilities at Palmer Street, Central Annex, and then also their facility out on Highway 90 in Robertsdale on Gilbert Drive. So this would ratify and confirm and allow them to move forward with these changes that they're wanting to do at their facility at their cost.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve item HA1.
We've got a motion and a second to approve item HA1. Any further discussion or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, the last addendum is HA2. This is regarding the Baldwin County Library Board appointments. And the staff recommendation is to appoint Mr. Chad Yarbrough as a member of the board for a 4-year term, continuing from October 1st, 2021 and expiring on October 1st, 2025.
I make a motion we approve item number HA2.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is administrative report. I don't have a report, but I do want to recognize Mr. Brian Peacock, our CIS director, this morning for a few minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners.
Yes, sir.
This never gets any easier. And unfortunately for our department, we've faced 2 losses this year. But I wanted to take a minute just to recognize a staff member that we lost last night, James Smith, displayed in his smiling face with his wife, Dannon. And I was wondering, how do you describe someone that everyone in the county or that may be watching doesn't know? And a parable comes back to me from Matthew 5, where Jesus is on the mount with his disciples and talking about the Beatitudes or traits that his disciples should carry. And how many of these traits that James himself exemplified in his day-to-day walk. He's touched so many people. Us within the department, as I've mentioned before, we're more than just coworkers. We're family. And we'll miss him. But the good thing about that scripture is that it says, rejoice and be glad, because our ultimate reward is heaven. And I'm so very thankful for the opportunity to share almost 10 years working side by side with James as not only a coworker, but as a family. And I ask that you please remember Dannon and the families in your prayers as we go through these next days, months, years. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to also add that the smile that you see on James' faces, he had that everywhere he went. It was, and it's so very sad, him and his wife, Dana, they were a great couple. And I know she's going to miss him very, very hard. But, and we're also going to miss him, because I'll tell you what, he knew what he was doing in the IT department. You could get him something, he would have it fixed in no time. And he was dedicated. I mean, it didn't matter what time it was, he was there to fix it. And, James is going to be very, very much needed. And I just want to give my condolence to his wife and his parents also. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to also say, like I was telling the group of students earlier, it seems like we've been doing this a lot here at our meetings, and just a part of life. And James, people not knowing him, won't realize that just looking at the picture, you can't tell that he's going to have a very thick English accent. And I did not know that when I first asked him for help. And they sent him over to my computer to start talking to me about how to log in or something like that. And when he started talking to me, I just looked back and see if this is the right person. And but he is. I said it to somebody earlier. If you wanted to learn about how not to be stressed, how to live the right life, how to be happy with, and not worry about all the problems that's going on in the world, you'd want to hang out with those two people right there. They exemplified that. James was a very talented, quiet guy sometimes, but I mean, just the smile that he carried on the face all day long, every day of the week, and when we're all falling apart sometimes up here, bickering and yelling and hollering or whatever it is, that James is not going to take part in that. He'll calm the situation down. So he is going to be greatly missed. I have stayed in contact with his wife Dannon pretty much through this whole journey, and I can assure you, I know where James is resting today, and he's glorifying his life in heaven now, his new life, where he's not sick and hurting anymore. So, and Dannon, his wife, believes that. Trust me on that. She is very faithful, probably one of the most faithful people I've ever met in my life, and her faith is what's carried her through this journey, without a shadow of a doubt. So they will be greatly missed. Prayers for that family and all involved. Prayers for us as a commission, us as a department, us as a CIS department is greatly appreciated, because this hurts all of us. Like Mr. Peacock said, we are one big family when we come here. And anytime something like this happens, it's very sad. So anyway, that's it.
We're going to miss that boy. I tell you, He did have a strong British accent, and he was from England. And I had an opportunity to talk to him many times about his when he grew up, and we talk about what high school did you go to, and he mentioned the name of his high school over there, and you know, he was able to obtain his U.S. citizenship, something Skip reminded me about. And the one thing I will say is that smile you see on those two faces right there is just a smile of a couple that was just so precious, so incredibly precious. If you did not get to know those two, you missed something. We are going to miss that face. I'm going to miss his smile. But there is one hope that we have, that those of us who are of the Christian faith, Dannon is a very strong believer. And I know the one value of social media is that you get to kind of dig down and deep in people's souls sometimes and know how they really feel, because they will post things and you know, we think sometimes, why do these kind of things happen? We don't really know the answer, except for we do know that God has a solution. He sent his son here, and we know that through salvation, and one day this is what Dannon believes, and I believe too, that she will get to see that face again, and that is that blessed hope. And so, yes, our hearts are torn out. I won't sit up here and tell you all the funny stories, but he roamed around the Central Annex building a lot, and he told me the most funny story one time about an adventure that he had happen to him. It pertained to New York City, and I won't share that because probably can't retell it exactly right, but we will all need to remember Dannon and his family and her family as they go through the loss of James, and the family here at Baldwin County Commission, and especially Brian in your department. As we say, you can't replace people like this. I know that it'll go on. I know that as long as we're still here, it will go on. But what a precious couple. When I would mention something to someone that worked at the hospital that he was out at during the time frame that he was in ICU and on that ventilator or whatever, they were like, we know his wife. She is so precious. She, you know, it's like they just automatically knew exactly who you were referring to. And so those are special people up there, and I know and I hope one day that I get to see him again too. Thank you.
He was the IT James Bond, because when he and I would get together and he said, "I'm James," and I said, "I'm Joe, but you kind of sound like you're not from South Alabama." He said, "I'm not." And we kind of bonded. I'm 73 years old. I've got 2 more telephones that I know how to operate, and a computer that always gives me fits. But let me tell you who could calm me down, help me out, and move me along. And that was James IT Bond. And if all of us would try to be as professional and as personable as IT Bond was, then we'd all be better off. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss him because of his skills. We're going to miss him because of the kind of team player he was. And he and I got to joke about, I'm Scotch-Irish. I turn red when I get mad, bad, glad, sad, or excited. And James would walk in and he'd ask Michelle and said, "Is he red?" And she'd say, "Probably so." And he would come in and help me get through whatever challenge I had. And gonna miss him a lot. And we're gonna miss him a lot. And somebody will follow him, but nobody will replace him. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, next is the county attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have a report. I do have a brief executive session at the end when that time comes.
All right, so we'll turn it back over to you at the end. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
and we would be able to adjourn
Yes,
this
sir.
meeting and then
Yes, sir.
leave.
We will not need to reconvene.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, public comments. Do we have anyone from the public that has anything that they'd like to say? Don't see any hands raised. I do see them. Oh, yes, sir. There's the mayor.
I'd like to thank y'all for your generosity this morning and this day for us. We've been working on this for 6 years, and we're just glad to have it come to fruition. I especially thank Commissioner Underwood for your diligent help with this, but also each and every one of you. And we think this will be positive, not only for the city of Roxdale, but for all of Baldwin County. And again, thank you for all of us that live in Roxdale.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Mayor.
very much, Mayor.
I should have acknowledged you earlier. I'm sorry. All right, press questions. Member of the press, I see one. Okay, no press questions. Let's go to commissioner comments. Jeb, let you lead off, sir.
So most of us, we've already said all the stuff we were going to say today, so I'll keep it short and sweet. It takes me back to something that Miss Alabama was telling y'all to do, and it was just so happening as I was listening to some things, and sometimes I get sidetracked up here and check social media or whatever. I saw a quote that a friend of mine posted, and she is a good friend of mine that represents and directs a company here in town that is a sober living house for women. This is in recovery from drugs and alcohol. And she just put a quote on here that applies to all of our lives. I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that I would run for office one day and win an election and sit up here and be a county commissioner. And a large majority of that is what I call stinking thinking and going through life just thinking you can't do something. And Ms. Alabama, she touched on this as she told y'all, to sometimes step out of your comfort zone, do something that you don't think you can do because you can do whatever you want to do. And so here's the quote that my friend posted this morning, and it kind of hit home with me because it says, "You are far too smart to be the only thing standing in your way. There's nothing else. You're the only thing that's going to keep you from doing things. Don't let anything else, outside influences, social medias, other people in life tell you anything," right? And I just thought that's something that y'all want to hear because you can be anything you want to be, whether it's you're going to go to college, not go to college. There's so much other things if you don't go to college that you could do in life. Don't let that be a downer for you or whatever your future holds, but it starts with you. And I hope some of you one day will consider running for public office and going through the process that we go through because this is a very rewarding experience once you get up here. It's a very difficult process to get up here as far as campaign-wise is concerned, but it's a rewarding experience. And y'all, like Commissioner Davis will tell you, probably you're the future leaders of this county. You're what people will follow one day. And thank y'all for what y'all do. Thank y'all for visiting with us today. And with that, I'll turn it over to whoever's next.
Okay, Billy Joe.
So I'm next in line. Ditto everything he just said. Wow. We have to have ambition, but at the same time, to do something, we need to have some kind of ambition, but make sure that you have impact. I too never had any aspirations to run for public office when I was your age. No earthly idea. I didn't even really know what a county commissioner was. I knew there was such a thing, but I didn't know what they did. And so I just want to say that don't believe everything you hear because there are good people who are in public office and there are good people who are serving people. And I truly hope to always exhibit a servant's heart and know that I love that one quote, love your people more than you love your position. But you may not necessarily end up being an elected official. You might be one of these that are really the wind beneath our wings. You know, you've heard you've got somebody that's worked at the county for 38 years. We've got some other people who have worked here for 30, almost that long years, or maybe, I don't know if we got anybody longer than that, but if we do, wow. But it's a great, government's a great place to work. I had no idea how you could retire out and do all these things. I've worked for family my whole life, and I'm like, man, I don't think that I've wasted my life or anything like that, but I miss that boat. I miss that retirement check where I could have a couple different, you know, careers and things like that. But don't discount the opportunity to, if you want to go into the workforce and work right here locally, like I think Shannon was talking about the young lady that went to work at the county at 19. There's a technical high school fixing to come into place.
That's right.
But if you go and want to do something more of a, you know, get your college degree or whatever, that's fine. But don't discount coming back to Baldwin County. And there's a lot of opportunities opening up here. I graduated from Foley High School way back in 1985. I'm probably older than your parents, but so many of my my classmates left. They didn't stay in Baldwin County because they didn't feel like that there was the opportunities available here for them. But a lot of them actually are moving back now as retired people. So I hope that you will think that there's a lot of great things still here in Baldwin County, that you will want to look at different careers and well, it's okay if you leave, but come back. Thank you.
Just want to thank our staff for all that they do, getting us prepared for this meeting and everything else. And, you know, I have to say it every time, you know, but Baldwin County is the, right now has the best employees you'd ever want to see in anything. I mean, they're so dedicated. They do their job, and they do the job very well. It's because they love what they do. And it means something to them to make themselves proud of what they do. And we're very fortunate to have these people. So I just want to thank each and every one of them. And y'all out there, the ambassadors, there's a lot of things going on in this world. And, you know, right now there is such a shortage of technical people, you know, to do different jobs. And right now, if y'all can get into one of those fields, y'all could have a very good living the rest of your life. Because there is a shortage in a lot of trades out there. And you know, a lot of people don't want to just go to college. You know, they want to do something and be productive. But if y'all will, just pick up a trade, because it really does. It makes a big difference if you've got one. And y'all, I'd love to hear what they had to say. You know, if we get a chance, just to see what you know, what some of them are planning for their future. You know, because you know your future is what you're going to do. I know when I graduated from high school, I didn't think I was going to, you know, go to work for the county. You know, I was a farm boy. You know, worked on a farm, and you know, and things weren't working good on the farm, so I just went and got me a job, and I did all kinds of stuff. You know, building houses and all kinds of other stuff, and then I ended up working with the highway department, and 30 years later, I retired from the highway department, you know, after serving, like say, 30 years, and then a little bit later on, I decided, well, you know, I want to do something else, so I went back and ran for county commissioner in 2006, and I've been here, if you add it together, almost 45 years of service for the county. And it's very rewarding. Let me tell you, it's very rewarding. And I thank everyone for that. And that's the end of my comments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Skip. To everyone, people watching or will watch later, but particularly to our young guest here today, you've heard a whole lot of stuff. And some of it you think is maybe significant and important, and some of it you go, why? Well, you'll learn about why. You'll learn about it as you graduate from high school. I graduated from high school in 1966. The minimum wage was $2. We were building paper mills. I'm from Thomasville, 100 miles north of Mobile. So we were throwing gravel for the rail spurs at one of the paper mills. And it was June and July. And it wasn't quite as hot as down here, but it was pretty close. And I think that helped me decide to try to go to college. I had a sixth grade teacher, who told me, Joe, you got a pretty good mind, but you don't read quite well enough. So this new technology that we have called a television, you need to, at the end of a movie, when they show the credits, see if you can read them all. Do you know that I still try to read them now, and I still can't read them all? But what she instilled in me was, try to be better. Try to be different. Try to be able to contribute to something. The other thing, some of you are on teams. Teams are not all athletic teams. You might be in a science club or a library club or a branch of one of the civic clubs. But teamwork is something that you can learn how to do. And be a team member first, and then you can be a team leader later. But be a team member. Skip referenced it. All of us have referenced it. I'll put our team of Baldwin County against any other team anywhere in this country, because the four of us don't tell people what to do. We make sure they have what they need, the resources, the personnel, and we share with them as people tell us things. Here's a problem. If it deals with a road or a highway, we get Joey Nunley. I call him and say, Joey, check into this for us. I don't tell him how to fix it because I don't know, but he does. And if he doesn't, he'll find somebody that does. So you've had a long morning here sitting with us today, but I can assure you that some of you will be up here one day, or you'll be in City Hall, or you'll be a member of the legislature. And part of what we want to be able to do, I wrote down 3 things. My first one was James. I knew he would come up at some point. My second one was modernize the bureaucracy / the process. And then thirdly was let's get better as we get bigger. Now, we'll make some mistakes, but I'm pretty sure there'll be areas of commission rather than omission, because we listen and we confer and we discuss. And then lastly, I am so proud to be a small part of this. They give each of us a gavel when we rotate the chairmanship. And Skip was first, Billy Joe was second, I'm third, Jeb will be fourth. They asked me what I wanted inscribed on my gavel, and here's what it says. Joe Davis III, 2020 to 2021, serving paradise. Because folks, we live in paradise. Some of it needs a little help. Some of it needs a little less water and rain, but hey, good Lord will help us with that. But for you young people, we're proud of you. We're proud of your participation in this organization, and you do what's best for you and your future, because I can assure you it'll be what's best for Baldwin County. So with that being said, we need to go into executive session. Is that correct, Mr.
Yes,
Attorney?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just for the...
Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of North Carolina Chamber of Commerce, Christina and myself, we just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to be here today. Speaking to our students, we really enjoyed it. And we've headed over to the courthouse next to learn a little bit more, so we really appreciate everything all you do for us.
Thanks, Marley. Certainly, and as Skip mentioned, we'd like to get some of y'all's comments and feedback at some point too. So if you got something, you can put your name on it or you can be anonymous. We get all kind of calls and comments, but you're our future, and we need to make sure we're setting a table for you to be able to make us even better as we get bigger.
I can tell you this. With that being said, I'm sure Sherry Lee is going to make a Facebook post today. You can go to our county Facebook, y'all, I'm sure y'all all use it. So go to the Baldwin County Commission Facebook website, and if you see your picture on there, maybe just drop a comment in the comment section line about maybe what your plans for in the future and stuff. Just kind of help us out and start a conversation piece. And who knows, maybe every kid, maybe y'all are set some kind of standard for every kid in the county that's in any school or something. We may have more comments than we ever expected. So start something when you see that post up there.
Good point, Jeff. Yes, sir, Brett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and for the education of the students. All of your public bodies like county commissions and city councils are required to meet in public for open meetings, but there are certain matters that you can discuss in executive session without the public present. Today, we're going to discuss a couple of pending lawsuit matters against the county or that the county are involved in. And because it's a legal matter, we're able to do it without the public present. So that's what's about to happen. So, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that the County Commission adopt a motion adjourning this meeting and convening an executive session to discuss with your attorney the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation. And I will go ahead and make the statement on the record that I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, and this exception does apply to the planned discussion. So after the motion, second, and vote, then we will announce that we will not reconvene.
I make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second to follow legal recommendation to go into executive session. So all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It is unanimous. We will adjourn this meeting and thank y'all.